first off, congratulations. What was that ride of emotions like? The TV goes out, it gets quiet. You're number 8. What was that like?
It was kind of fitting, I think, that the sound was completely off. But it's just a moment that none of us will ever forget. We set out to do something really special last summer with this roster, and I could not be more proud of the program. So thankful for, this department for believing in me, believing in the staff, that we could get the program to this level, and just really proud of the players. They work so hard day in and day out, and just so excited for them. We have the opportunity potentially to host a super regional here in Columbia, which is the first time, that we're going to be able to do that in program history. So it's historic. It's a day that the program will never forget, and just really excited about it.
Why are you number 8 seed? Why do you think the committee looked at this body of work?
Yeah, you never know exactly what the committee is going to value, but when you really look at our resume, having the second most top 25 wins than anybody in the country, I think we were tied for the second most. I think that's probably what it came down to, is that we just, we beat top 25 opponents all year. And, we picked to play Duke. We played Duke in a series before we started SEC play, and we swept them at their place. And then we chose to play Texas Tech, who ended up being the Big 12 champion at our place. And so we won the series. So 5 for 6 against non-SEC teams. So I think those two things alone really probably set us apart when it comes to our resume.
Any thoughts on the familiarity of the draw with teams coming here you saw in the regular season?
Yeah. I mean, Virginia being our 2 seed, we played them twice the first weekend. That feels like a year ago at this point. We play so many weeks of the season, but we do have a lot of information on them, and we got a good draw. I mean, North Florida's good, so it'll be an exciting weekend for us. But we've got a lot of information on Virginia, and I'm really excited to host them here in Columbia.
Coach, obviously that last spot to host the Super Regional. What was that moment of suspense like, waiting to see if your team would be the one?
It was torturous. I feel like it has been for a couple days. We really felt good about our body of work and about our resume, but at the end of the day, the committee makes the decision, so you never know. So we're really grateful, really thankful, and just really excited. I think I had tears in my eyes and butterflies, and I'm sure everyone in the program felt the same way.
Being an alum, and what does this mean for you being an alum? And what softball means?
Yeah, it's a dream come true for me, and just to lead the program, it's a dream come true. To put the program in this position, and it's really all about the players for me, and I hope we fill Beckham this weekend with just the best fans in the country. I know everyone's really excited about it.
What does this week look like preparation-wise? How does it change, if all?
Yeah, we practiced today actually. So the rest of the week is going to look like preparation for our opponents now that we know what our draw is going to be. So we'll prepare for each opponent this week. They're out of school, so it's really awesome that they get to practice, so not worrying about class or worrying about exams. So it'll be a fun week. We'll go out to dinner. We'll have a lot of practice time together. Just kind of soak up the moments and get ready for all of the opponents on the regional.
Not only do you play in SEC schedule, you schedule Texas Tech.
Yeah.
How do you think that
I'm sorry?
How do you think that prepares y'all for playing?
I think it prepares us. I mean, if you look at our schedule, I mean, we know what a super regional weekend feels like, because we played it against Duke, and then we played it all conference in Texas Tech. So I think we've been in atmospheres, in venues, in moments that it's going to feel like a regional final, a super regional final, to get us to Oklahoma, which is ultimately what we're trying to do now. Is we're trying to make a run to get to Oklahoma City, and we've been in moments and venues and opponents that feel like that. So I think we're going to be really prepared and not make anything bigger than it is.
Coach, earlier in the season, a couple weeks ago, you mentioned how you've seen the fans grow and start to come out over the season. How meaningful is it that now you have a couple more opportunities to see it grow even more?
Yeah, it's huge. We love our fans, and our fan base grew as the year went along, and people got excited about what we're doing, and I think it's going to be packed this weekend, and with the potential of hosting the next week. I think it's going to be packed both weeks. I'm really excited about it. I would say get there early so you can get a seat, and we just really appreciate everyone's support. We feel it when we play, when the stands are really crowded and the crowd is loud, and it really fuels us to, play really hard. So really excited to see everyone there.
How gratifying is it to know that this is now the foundation for this program?
Yeah, it's really gratifying. Like I keep saying, it's a dream come true for me and my family. But I'm just really excited for the players and the program and just the community to get really excited about what we're doing. And you never know exactly what a season's going to turn out like. I think this is a magical one for us, but it is the foundation. That's why I came here. Coach Tanner hired me to change the program, and that's exactly what we set out to do. And, we're just really blessed that we're able to have this kind of impact year one.
I'm sorry if she asked you this just now. I couldn't hear it. But is there any part of you that's surprised that you're able to do it this quickly?
I'm not surprised because at the end of the day, I know the players and I know the people in the program, and they're second to none. I mean, I have the best staff in the country. We have the best players in the country, and we have a lot of heart. This time of the year, everyone's talented. Everyone can play the game at a really high level, and I think it, really comes down to your heart and, your passion and, just your vision for where you want to go. And, the players have been relentless of just really attaching themselves to, like, hey, we're going to change this program, and, we're going to be meaning something at the end of the year. So, I'm not surprised by any means, and I'm just really excited, for what's to come over the next couple weeks. We've said the last couple weeks, whether, it be a loss or a win or whatever, I'm like, hey, our best days are still in front of us. Our most exciting games are still in front of us, and I think that's going to be true over the next few weeks.
Thank you, Coach.